Now 7 on my phone, so. All right, brother, you good to go? Are you good to go? All right, it's 7 o'clock. I will go ahead and call the August 11th German Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Heaston, would you please take the roll call?
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Stubbs,
Here.
Dr. Cross, here. Mr. Potter, here. All are present.
All right, are there any visitor comments tonight? Okay, we'll move on to the fiscal officer's report.
Okay, very good. Well, let me turn on my camera. Okay, the first thing you have is 2 sets of minutes from the July 14th regular meeting and the July 23rd special meeting. Are there any changes you would like to see?
I'll make a motion to approve both sets of minutes as submitted.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I've also given you, as always, the 5 financial reports. These are for the month of July. You have the July fund status report, the year-to-date through July 31st of the cash summary by fund, the month of July cash summary by fund, the July receipts, and the July payments. And the only item I want to point out is voucher number 558 for $72,372.03 to Rumpke Waste. It's our normal quarterly trash payment. And as you will recall, Rumpke's rates are going to increase by 8% at the beginning of October to $66.81 per quarter for residential collections. And on that same date, we will be raising our fee to our residential customers from $70 to $75. Any questions about the financials? If not, could I have a motion to approve the financial reports and authorize the payment of the July bills?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the July financial reports and authorize the payment of July bills warrants 50882 through 50888 and vouchers 557 through 653 for payroll, direct deposit, tax withholdings, and other electronic payments.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Following last month's meeting, contacted ADT to cancel the service for our panic buttons here in the meeting room, as well as in the zoning and trash office. And the monthly charge by ADT is $103.64. In talking to them, I learned that the panic button portion of that monthly charge of $67.24. The remaining $36.40 relates to the building card access system to allow people to come and go through the building using the key card. So knowing that several groups use those access cards, I didn't cancel that service. I assume that's something you would not want me to do, but if you do want that canceled also, I can go back and talk to them again.
No, I know that the radio, the amateur radio uses it and other groups too, so. The JED board too, yeah. So I would keep that.
I thought you would want to. So we will save $67 and change every month. Yeah, so that's a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I filed the 2 resolutions to place the parks levies on the November 4th ballot. Each of those levies is 5 years. They have been accepted by the Board of Elections. And today I did receive the ballot language. The renewal levy will read as follows. a renewal of a tax for the benefit of German Township incorporated and unincorporated for the purpose of parks and recreational purposes, that the county auditor estimates will collect $114,483 annually, a rate not exceeding 0.5 mil for each $1 of taxable value, which amounts to $13 for each $100,000 of the county auditor's appraised value for 5 years, commencing in 2026, first due in calendar 2027. I did question the Board of Elections this afternoon whether we could put in for operating expenses. And they, of course, as we've heard in the past, said no. Renewals have to use the exact language from the last time on the ballot. But the good news is the additional levy will read as follows. An additional tax for the benefit of German Township, incorporated and unincorporated, for the purpose of parks and recreation permanent improvements, that the county auditor estimates will collect $299,202 annually at a rate not exceeding 1 mil for each $1 of taxable value, which amounts to $35 for each $100,000 of the county auditor's appraised value for 5 years, commencing in 2025 and first due in calendar 2026. Since I sent you the report, I did receive an email where a initial meeting of a levy committee is going to be held tomorrow, I believe, or Wednesday. Thursday. Thank you. Thursday. And we'll include representatives from the Park Board, VV Base, VVYSA, and Junior Spartan Football. So from our end, we are done. It's up to the levy committee now. We received a thank you note from Sunshine in a Bag Ministry at First Church of God. Last year, we gave them $2,000 from the Fouts Trust Fund. They noted in their letter that in addition to receiving food donations from the public worth $2,500 to $3,000, the ministry also spent nearly $30,000 in cash to buy more supplies to feed about 190 students twice a month during last school year. In January, you approved a 2025 appropriation of $2,000 from the Fouts Trust Fund. Now might be a good time to consider making this year's donation.
You want to make that resolution?
Sure.
Do you have a number?
Yes, let's make that resolution 43.
I'd like to introduce resolution 2025-43 to make a $2,000 donation from the Fouts Fund to Sunshine in a Bag.
Second.
And did you say that was going into Sunshine in a Bag? Right. Yes. Thank you. Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2025-43 is adopted. One of the items in the recently passed state budget, and there was a lot in there. I keep hearing more and more every day, things I did not know was in that budget bill. But the one tonight I want to discuss is a requirement that local governments formally adopt cybersecurity programs. The Auditor of State did discuss this requirement in his July General Standard newsletter that I forwarded to you. The Auditor's Office will be checking that we are meeting the requirements of this new law during our regular audits. The state auditor indicated he will provide more detailed guidance in the coming months. But in addition to that guidance, I'm also hoping the Ohio Township Association will provide some assistance to us, perhaps by drafting templates that we can use. A recent webinar discussed the cybersecurity requirement, and I think Dr. Cross has already listened to the webinar recording and has recommended that we all should watch it.
I've got kind of a overview of that recording. Did anybody watch it besides me? Hey, Jeremy. So basically, on 8/6/25, I viewed the new cybersecurity requirements for the Ohio Local Governments webinar. The highlights were HB 96 takes effect on 9/30/2025, a couple months. Language in the ORC 9.64 applies to all Ohio political subdivisions. Local governments entities must install a cybersecurity program, obtain approval from their legislative body for ransomware payments, and all cyber incidents must be reported within a specific time frame to the Department of Public Safety and the Auditor of State. County and city should have a program in place by 1/1/2026. All other entities, which includes us, the deadline is July 1st, 2026, so less than a year. Compliance timeline to begin reporting to the Department of Public Safety and the Auditor of State is 9/30/2025. So even though if we haven't adopted it, and if something happens, we still have to report it. As
They
of,
want to report to the Department of Homeland Security.
I don't know for sure. I'd have to check that.
I thought there was 3 places that had to report it. I could be.
Local government must establish a cybersecurity program that safeguards data, IT, and IT resources, ensure availability, confidentiality, and integrity, and must follow the best practices like NIST Cybersecurity Framework, Center for Internet Security, which I have no idea what both of those are. So training to the Ohio Persistent Cyber Improvement is available. And there's a cyber frontline first aid kit that can be downloaded. So I recommend that we, as trustees, go ahead and watch that. The webinar itself is only about 40 minutes, and then the rest is just question and answer period. So hopefully we'll get more guidance, as Mark said, from the Ohio Township Association. And note, there was actually 1,000 people signed up for the webinar, so that's why it was sold out. And one question for Chief, should we get an opinion from your IT person as far as how to set this up?
Probably should.
So if you can maybe give them a heads up, and because so again, it's an unfunded mandate again, just like the web page. So I don't know how much it's going to cost us, but it's coming quickly.
That's a quicker deadline than the others.
The web page, yeah. So again, you can get a chance to look at that, and hopefully there'll be more information to help small townships like us
Okay.
versus large ones like Miami Township or
Right.
whatever. Have a whole staff that can work on this. So yeah. So okay, that's all I've got, Mark. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that overview. The fact that it is an unfunded mandate means we, of course, want to try to use whatever free sources we can. If we need to contract it out or get some consulting advice, we need to know where we can go for that.
And Mark, for that first aid kit, you actually have to kind of register, not really register, but you have to input it. You just can't go to it and it'll tell you. So I don't know if it's something that you want to watch, and maybe it'll give us a start, a head start in it, or.
I've not had a chance to watch it yet. I will for it.
Yeah, see what it says.
So maybe next month we can spend more time.
Right, exactly. But hopefully hopefully the OTA will give us some guidance by then too. So that's it. Sorry.
Thank you. Let's see. The next Montgomery County Township Association meeting will be held at Butler Township's offices. That's going to be on August 28th. At this point, I do plan to go. If anyone else wants to go, we can ride along. Then you're getting, before I finish, your monthly reminder that our web content and mobile applications need to be compliant with the Department of Justice disability accessibility requirements by April of 2027. There is a link to a fact sheet I've sent you that talks about these rules that is available on the Civil Rights Division website. Again, an unfunded mandate. With that, I am done. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I will move on to Chief's report.
It'll be quick. Monthly stats for last month. The officers drove 7,809 miles. We were dispatched 100 times and closed 100 cases. Case follow-ups, we had 16 from existing cases, had 0 arrests. Formed 582 business checks, 115 vacant or vacation house checks, and 1,245 occupied house checks. Had 5 crashes, made 26 traffic stops, and cited 11 people. After review of the PD budget and approval from the trustees, the department will initiate the process of hiring a full-time officer to fill the vacancy created by an upcoming officer retirement. That officer's final day of service scheduled for the 26th of this month.
All right,
That's all I.
thank you.
So were you first on the scene with the dead body or?
Our police department was dispatched because it came in as the call was for Manning at Anthem. Have to be careful what I say. The tote was found on Fort Anthony Road, which is across the bridge, and Officer Parker and Officer Getter both responded, found that tote. Once they found what was inside, which Jackson was unable to respond because they were on a priority call at the time. But once they found what was inside, Jackson responded. So I went out to offer my moral support to Jackson Township, as our officers were on scene first. Myself and Sergeant Jones, Jackson Township Police Department.
All right. Mr. Holbrook.
Trying to make this quick tonight, just to keep the board up to date what's been going on. Mr. Hamilton and I completed our chip seal patching on the roads that are going to receive chip and seal in 2025. We placed approximately 123 tons of asphalt at $86 a ton. We completed the 3rd round of roadside right-of-way ditch mowing, and also completed the treatment of all the Johnson grass that we could see that was in the right-of-way. Mr. Potter had mentioned at the previous meeting. The 3rd item is, as you're aware, back in 2024, we ordered a new International HV 607 dump truck to replace the older International snowplow truck that we currently have. The truck was manufactured by International and delivered to a guy in Ohio where Gledhill Road Machinery was going to be doing the upfitting on. That was delivered on, I remember, it's like in October, I believe. October 15th, 2024. So starting in December, I started reaching out to our salesman with Gledhill, asking, hey, do we have a schedule on when this is going to be put in the chain to get it start upfitting, put the bed on it, put the hydraulics on it, put the lights on it, hitch on the back, whatever. And failed to get any kind of response. Well, as time went on, he kind of let us know that, hey, company's kind of oversold all this work. We don't have enough people to get it done. Still can't give you any kind of timeline. So now we're going on almost a year that they've had this cab and chassis that's been completed, sitting there out in the weather. So I reached out to Anu Sharma with the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office and said, hey, is there anything we can do? The contract we signed said the upfit will be completed in 150 days. We're way beyond that now. So her response to that was put together a letter to President of Gledhill, have the Board of Trustees sign it, letting them know what you want, which is, if you've read the letter, we want to know within 15 business days, give us a schedule. If it's next month, December, I get it. I get the fact of having labor shortage. I get it. But I want to know when I got to know when it's going to be done. The problem you know, and I talked to Anu about this, is everybody's a year out. So if you said, okay, we're coming up and we're gonna get our cabin chassis and we're gonna take it somewhere else. We're gonna take it to KE Roads, we're gonna take it to American Road Machinery, we're gonna take it to wherever. They're a year out. And it's gonna cost me, guaranteed. So that's where we're at. So I drafted this letter for you to sign tonight. And I will both email a copy and send a copy to Mr. Lear, who is the president of Glen Hill Road Machinery. And hopefully we will get a response within the 15 days. So at this point, that's where we're at. Like I said, Anu's in the loop on what's going on. Forward a copy of this to her. 15 days goes by and we don't have any kind of response. It's time for the prosecutor's office to reach out to him, and find out what's going on.
Well, it's not good for the truck to sit.
No, and I told our salesman that, I said, that truck has sit out in the weather more than the trucks that we use
Right.
have been out in the weather. You know, because we keep them put
Right.
away every night. Even with the hours they have on them, plowing snow and doing all 24/7, the new one's sitting out in the weather.
That's just hurting all the.
It's a year of its warranty down the tube. Because it's not even in service.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. So it's not fair to us and it's not fair to the taxpayers who's paid for the cabin chassis.
Right.
Luckily, we haven't paid anything to Glen Hill, but we've tied up $71,000 that we can't use because it's in a purchase order.
Yep.
For this work.
Do we need a motion to sign that, or can we go ahead and just sign it?
Let's do a motion.
Question.
Mark Keener, so I'm curious, Mr. Holbrook, in your letter, do you have what you want other than just a commitment to a schedule? So you mentioned warranty. Can we ask them to cover any expenses for repairs for X number of days past our warranty extension? Any consequences if we don't hear from them? I
had thought about that, asking them for a schedule is one thing, but them sticking to the schedule is totally different. And that's gonna be a question. I'll see where they go in the 15 days. And then if they say, well, here's the schedule, I had actually talked to Anu about, well, can we say, okay, well, you guys have now committed. So now we're gonna add liquidated damages if you're beyond this point. But now that's gonna be something that they have to sign, you just can't just throw that in their lap and expect them to. Sure, we'll do that.
They had a commitment on the purchase contract.
Right, and that's my point is, they've already committed to the 150 days and the salesman's like, oh yeah, we always put that on there. We should have took that off. But you didn't.
Yeah.
Not my problem. That's the one that we both signed.
But everybody signs their emails with it.
Yeah.
So,
But I'll ask Anu about that. 'Cause, yeah, like I said, there's part of the warranty that we no longer have access to because it's sitting up in a lot down in Ohio.
yeah, and you got things like the battery sitting there. Is it, discharging, due to parasitic discharge? Mr. Stubbs mentioned the rubber seals and the exposure to UV. And that's gonna take probably longer than the warranty period to manifest itself. So,
Not cool.
oh, I know you're good at handling.
I'll ask about
More flies with honey than with vinegar. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we need a motion to send the letter.
Let's do a motion, because I think that shows not only your signature is going to be on the letter, but your public support for this request that Jeremy's making.
All right, I will make a motion to send a letter to Mike Lear of Glen Hill Road Machinery, asking for clarification on when our upfit will be complete. And expectation of letting us know within 15-day period.
Any discussion of the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
And the only other thing I have after that is let you know we've been busy mowing cemeteries. Things haven't slowed up, it seems like, so. Other than that, that's all I have.
Propane.
Oh, Lou and I discussed earlier about getting pricing on the township's propane for the 2025-2026 season. He reached out to Champion Propane and received a price, and I reached out to Earhart, which is our current supplier, and I have not yet hear back from them. The lady that I talked to did reach out to me, and I must have missed her call. Apologize. She left a message. I tried to reach her meeting, but Lou and I talked about passing a resolution to allow me to sign on behalf of the board to negotiate propane prices per gallon not to exceed
159 or 160.
159, 160 per gallon for the 2025-2026 season. Now that would give me authority to sign a contract with whoever the lowest supplier is. So I'm going to try to reach out to Earhart tomorrow, find out what her question was and say, email me your per gallon quote. And I should be able to make a decision tomorrow on who's the lowest price. So.
So we'll do that by resolution number 44.
I will introduce resolution 2025-44, a resolution to authorize Jeremy Holbrook to sign a contract for propane not to exceed $1.60 per gallon.
What is that a price per gallon?
$1.60.
$1.60. Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-44 is adopted.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Ms. Burton, zoning.
Yes, we had one permit in July, above ground pool for, I think the last name is Sherp on Siegel Road. And then we have sent a certified letter to an owner on Jamaica Road due to roosters and chickens. And neighbors are also disputing property lines, and both neighbors have attorneys. So the zoning commission did talk about that at their last meeting. And the other thing that I've been working on is just getting the billings all in, or trash. I've been working on that, but making sure we have the right addresses and names and stuff of owners so we can send out if they're 2 quarters behind in their trash billing.
Yep.
So that we can send a letter out to them, giving them a date that they have to have it in by, or we send it to the county auditor.
Yeah, that's coming up. It's typically September.
Right. So I just finished verifying everyone's name and address. So the letters are forthcoming.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Is that all?
Can I add on to that?
But sure.
Zoning, if it's okay with
Yeah.
you. I'm going to try to determine when the original zoning resolution was introduced to determine grandfathered buildings and properties. Because right now, I really don't know when it was actually introduced. I'll just come in and look at some of the old minutes that Mark
Okay.
has in there. So not stepping into
No,
it.
time.
That's it.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll move on to the board reports then. So Trustee Potter.
All right, I have a couple things. I actually missed the parks meeting this year because I was out of town due to visiting sick relatives, but they did not have a quorum for the meeting. Tom passed out some sample flyers for the park bench program, and that was about all they did for that. The MMI committee has accepted the proposal from Daryl Selby to build a brick wall that will hold the plaques and eagles. They have to decide exactly where that will be. It'll be done sometime this fall. The footer will have to be dug. Hopefully, I'm trying to get the city. I'm sure we'll dig it, but I hope to get the concrete poured sometime when they're pouring something in the city. And at that time. So here is the proposal that Daryl's had. Here's one of them to carry me. Here.
And Jeremy.
So it was a total of $12,000 for the brick and the limestone and the labor. A little over $12,000. It's going to hold, the size, it's like 14 feet wide. It's 9 foot, 7 foot tall. And it'll be holding the 3 plaques and the cornerstones, and there'll be 2 eagle sculptures on the top.
So where is this gonna be?
It'll be up, you've been up there where the parking lot is. It'll be where the building was, out in the middle of the parking lot, out into the building.
Another question, I hate to, give Debbie Downer, but does anybody go up there? Is it gonna be worth $12,000 to put this up there?
Yeah.
In your opinion, yeah.
That's the only thing I got.
I just don't know if I would want to approve that. Because like right now, there's, you go up there and it's just a field.
That's because there's nothing up there, but soon they will be. We already got the plaques, we've already got the eagles, this is what all it is going to show. And then up there also, on each side of this wall, there will be, in the future, there will be pictures, plaques, I forgot how they word them, but that's going to show the buildings, what the buildings actually look like, where the residence was, where the building was, where the cafeteria was. It'll show what all the buildings looked like when it was there. We're still with doing the bike trail, or the bike trail, but the walking path that goes around to all the memorials. So we're just still in the building phases of it.
So where's this $12,000 gonna come out of the park budget then, or?
Out of the MMI budget. Which we have $25,000 in the MMI budget. So the well days donated $10,000 here when they was here last. We have $5,000 left over from we get $10,000 a year from the city through the park budget. And we had $5,000 left over from that. We had $10,000 of the well days, and it's coming along. We're in our 4th year and on schedule. We had like a 5-year schedule. I don't know that we'll get the walking trail in this year because of the wall. Ben's been keeping it mowed for the walking trail. You guys haven't. If you don't know what it looks like or something, you should go up and look at it. Walk around.
Are they gonna expand like the pretzel festival up into that?
No. Well, we have a meeting on that here shortly.
Okay.
But last year, we give up. We can't manage that. So that the church managed that last year of taking care of the parking.
Okay.
And the church, as of this year, they said they was just gonna close the gate
Okay.
because we really don't want them up there. So.
So if people want to walk up, they can, but they're not gonna drive.
That's during the pretzel.
During the pretzel festival.
During the pretzel.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
They talked about just using it for the vendors,
Okay,
but the vendors come and go. If they're not somebody there monitoring
right.
them going up and down, it'll just be a free for all. Now, if you remember last year, they got up there and they made a mess because it rained whole weekend. So hopefully they'll just keep the gate closed this year.
All right. That all?
That's all for that.
Okay.
The pool has been doing fine. No problems as far as I know. As Mark mentioned earlier, Judy from the city contacted me for come to City Hall Thursday regarding the park levy. Kircher Park, the sports programs at Kircher Park is planning on having a car show at Kircher Park Saturday, September 20th. I also emailed you earlier a proposal from Ron Wine about the little twin proposal for the erosion protection. If you had time to look at that, to discuss that. It was for $54,000. The $54,000 will cover all of his cost. I have got like 20 or 30 concrete blocks that was donated to German Township from SRM. We needed them. So we'll be using those for the for the anchors of the Little Twin project. And then also they got a project, Ben and Chip have a project that we need them for along the bike trail. So that's helping with the cost. And the only thing that's in that proposal that he talked about needing is possibly needing a lift. I was planning on having a lift that I was going to let him use that has not developed yet. So if you should happen to need a lift, I would have to come up with getting him a lift. That could be an additional charge of maybe $500 or something. I just wanted to bring that up. If you guys have any questions, we could discuss it. I could have Ron here for the next meeting.
How did he go from $100,000 project to we're paying the same amount basically again?
Because we're not doing all the stuff at the road. We're not doing all the guardrail. We're not doing all the.
I would hope he would give us a little bit more of a list of. Well, it just says total project cost, and he gives us a rough guess of. But he doesn't give us any like numbers. Can he give us some better numbers on like where the money's going? Like for next
A breakdown.
a breakdown of yeah.
Yep. I can do that.
There wasn't anything there. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't like it. It's way too much money.
Yep.
So.
But not nearly as much as it will be
No,
when the road falls in.
but I think we can do I think I don't disagree that there's things we can do out there. I think we could do it a lot cheaper. I think we could drop some trees. I was out there last month because I figured he'd be here last month, so I went out ahead of time. There are some trees that need to come down.
When he does this, there'll be no water along the bank at all. The water will be 100 feet away from the bank
In the long term, right?
for a long term.
Right. But he's not gonna be able to get in and move the gravel, I assume, like.
He put in the creek on the other side of the gravel.
How do they do that without touching the gravel?
Same way you did down here with the trees. That's why they need all the anchors. It would all be with the trees. So, but there would be no water at the road when he was done. And with no water at the road, I hope that the road department or us over time will have time that we could move the concrete around. Maybe we could pour some concrete in there to hold the concrete slabs, for lack of better words. We'd be able to dump some dirt over the edge because at that point, we're not dumping into the water. And we could build the bank out ourselves, get a little bit of width away from the road. And then if we want to, we could, over time, we could put guardrail up ourselves.
Okay. And he's still, I mean, we've dealt with the creeks before in other situations and it's, with the Army Corps. And there's not, I don't see how he can do what he can do when we can't do anything.
Well, the same way he did at Kircher Park.
Okay,
That's the same thing. Have you been down to Kircher Park?
I have. And the sandbar's still there.
Yeah, that's my question. The
Yeah,
sandbar.
the sandbar is still there, but we've got 20 feet of new away from the bank. The sandbar has been moved over because the water was running where all the trees was at. Now it has silted full, which is all growing with new growth.
Okay.
So the sandbar has been moved 20, 30 feet.
Because I believe he originally said the sandbar would be gone.
I don't see how the sandbar can ever be gone, though. I know we can move it over again and push the sandbar over some more.
Yeah, okay.
Now, he did tell me just, if you've been down there at the end of where those trees is, it's not exactly right. So he's going to come back on his own dime and fix the end of that where the trees come back into the creek on the low end, on the south end. He needs to put some more trees in there. He was going to do that at the same time that he's doing this, which is just like warranty work.
Okay. But he says in here he doesn't provide a warranty.
He's just doing it
I
because he
know.
wants to. He don't have to. He just said it needs to be done.
If you would like to come next month, I think that would be in the best interest if you, if the
Yeah.
project to go forward, but.
Yep.
I agree.
All right.
Deb Cross.
Can you,
Jeremy, could you tell me about the,
can you introduce?
Deb Cross?
She did.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
About the guardrail, because I thought that was something that was put in by the county. Is that right? Did we talk about that?
I think that was originally part of the issue 2 project, was they were going to look at putting guardrail along that area. In the past, when the township has installed new guardrail, not repair, replacement, we usually contact the county engineer's office and get their opinion on, do we need it, do we not need it? We did guardrail extension on Mudlick Road. We kept having problems with people ending up down in Twin Creek in that little whoop-de-woo where it comes out of the woods, headed east. And we had county engineers come out and take a look at it and said, yeah, it'd probably benefit from guardrail. So then we hired a guardrail company, security fence, to come out. They do ODOT approved guardrail. And we had them actually put it in because, it has to be a certain way. Because now you have a liability. It's not built correctly. Somebody hits it. You want to make sure it's up to code.
So who paid for that, Darren?
Yes, we paid for
Yeah.
it. So
That was my question.
the
Because,
county doesn't pay for it, we pay.
but when we were talking about this particular situation, this one, I thought that, that guardrail was something that wasn't part of the original $107,000.
It was absolutely in there originally.
It was in, I think it was
That was
in the
part
issue
of it.
2 project,
Okay,
but now
so
it's not.
back, if it was in there, there was also, I asked Mr. Wine how much that will cost to be part of the project before, and he said 8,000 to 10,000. I don't know that. But the guardrail part is 8,000 to 10,000 is what he said. So when we're talking about 107 down to 54, that's still.
Yeah.
Then there was quite a bit of cost overrun last time on this project.
Then he ate it all.
So then there was something about another project at the bike path,
Has nothing to, that's just city thing there, real close to the parking lot at Cherry Street. There's a little culvert bridge there. It's washing. And
And where they have the steel plate now.
where they got steel plate, yes. So I'm just helping the city out by getting these blocks and setting them blocks for them.
okay. Now that's the other question about the blocks. Where are the blocks going? In the creek?
Same as down there, they go in the creek to anchor the trees from floating away.
Oh, I didn't think we were allowed to put anything in the creek except natural material.
There's a formula of how much material you can put into the creek. And I
All
know
approved,
it off the top of my head,
all approved by the,
that it has to be within the amount under a nationwide permit 13, by the Army Corps of Engineers, which is supposedly what Ron's working on. Nationwide.
So we
permit.
have that approval then for the amount of,
we're getting under the 13, the project 13, yes. The Corps of Engineers. Project, whatever you call that one.
Nationwide.
Nationwide. Or 13. Same as it is at Kircher Park. Exact same. There's blocks at Kircher Park too. Yep.
okay, okay.
Okay, Abigail Hale Dennis. I just want to make sure I understand, Lou. You said it's going from 100,000 about to 54 because there's less for us to do, or I do it, how it dropped in half again?
We're not getting, we was putting piling in at the road to help stabilize the edge of the road. They was putting guardrail in. It was doing more work to anchor the road with that job. They're not doing any of that now. So all we're doing is getting the water away from the road and leaving it up to us, road department, to do anything to help stabilize the road a little at the time in the future as we can afford it.
You know, something, Deb Cross, Egan, it'd be helpful, I think, to see maybe that last, project that he put out for that 107,000 side by side with this 54,000 project, to see what we're getting versus what we're not getting. Is that something that we could?
Yeah. Yeah, I should have it in the emails. I should be able to do that. But what it was with the county, basically, or the state, however you want to look at that, the only thing they will pay for is to help stabilize the road. They would not do anything with the creek. It wasn't allowed in this issue 2 money to do anything with the creek. So now we took all their part out. So Ron's Creek part, 54,000, is still the creek part for 54,000. Basically is what it is. But we're not getting all this road stabilization that we was going to get with the state money. The pilings or any of the the concrete that they was putting in the banks to stabilize all the existing concrete that's laying there on the bank now, rearranging all that concrete so it's set better. That's all that they was going to do with the state money. None of that's happening now. That'll be up to us to do as if we want to, if we can afford to, over time. But my point is, we will have with a lot of things, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong. When the water is there, you can't pour dirt, you can't pour concrete, you can't pour anything over the bank into the water. Now the water is going to be 50, 75 feet away from the road at this point, when Ron's done. Then we can work. We can get down in the creek. We can move the concrete around if we want to. We can pour concrete. It'll be the bank. Because the water won't be there no more. Creek is over now.
All on township property only?
Oh, this is on, so part of it's Wally Stiver's property, which he has given permission for us to do whatever we need to do there. Wally Stiver.
Because this will help them too, right?
Right.
This will help him also though, right?
I'll help him in. Yep. Keeping the road there so he can go up and down it whenever he wants to leave.
But we already approved, it sounds like we've already approved this project because you went ahead with all this stuff.
I went ahead with what? I haven't went ahead with anything.
Well, I mean, we're this far with Ron and everything.
All he did was give me a proposal, which is the same proposal that he had last year.
I don't know, so I'm asking.
It's the same proposal that he had last year. We took out what the state was going to do, what the state was going to fund. Basically, is all he did.
Just guess my biggest concern is, I mean, as long as I've lived here, that's looked that bad there. But why it would be a rush. I mean, that road's always been.
Again, I don't know what to say, except you either maintain something or you can wait till it's broke and then fix it. I'm always good for maintenance.
Well, I think I am too when you grow up out here in the country, but
Well,
I mean, my dad used to live on that road. I mean, it's been that way.
And Astoria Road had been that way right up to the time they closed it. Been that way for years. And then one day you come here and it's closed. Everything's that way until it breaks or until it gets closed or until it's not safe no more. It's all that way.
Well, I think one of the problems I have too is, I mean, there's no guarantee to anything he does, obviously. There can't be, and I get that. But there's nothing to say that we pay the $54,000 and a year from now the road washes out anyway. As opposed to.
All I can say is with Gertrude Park, Go down there and look at it. It's worked very well. And it's just continuing to get better. And with the water away from the bank, if we choose to, if Jeremy thinks it's worth it, we can, over time, work the bank, protect the bank, make the bank more stable, more safe, because there's no water there. And then eventually, if the water does come back, the road bank will be more secure.
If we get Ron here next month, then we can, for questions to him.
That's fine, yeah. Yeah, just have him, if he could come and make a presentation, that'd be ideal, I think.
That's what we expect.
Do you have any?
I think that's it for me.
All right, thank you. Dr. Cross?
Shortest one today. So I had no oversight committees since last meeting. I cannot report on the 8/4/25 Germantown City meeting since the meeting was canceled. They had a dearth of business. I don't know how they could cancel meetings, but it was canceled. That's my report.
All right. Yeah, I thought that was interesting too.
I did too.
They canceled that early.
I
I had to look that up.
Yes,
I request we do that for next month here.
yeah.
Now that Ron's coming.
No, wait, yeah, right. He's gonna be here, so.
Okay, thank you for your report. Short, sweet, to the point. I've just got a few things tonight. I'll start with the cemetery flagpole update. We're looking at our options. It's actually becoming more difficult to replace the flagpole. If you weren't here, the flagpole was knocked down by a monument truck dropping off monuments, snapped off, and it damaged the stone. So we're looking at our options to get the flag. The Dodge is going to take care of it, but we're looking at our options without least amount of damage being done to the cemetery. So they're talking about potentially boring a hole in existing. But we were waiting for some calls back, so we're moving forward. It's just wasn't an ideal situation, and but it will be taken care of. The wall removal update, Burkhart's has redrawn the engineering based on the city's latest recommendations. The cemetery board has approved it, and we were going to be getting the neighbor's approval since we will be grading up onto his property to make our slope work. We have to grade across the property line to his fence to make it work. Yeah, to Whitles. So we're gonna hopefully get with him within the next month and then see, hopefully he'll approve it. The city wanted approval from him that he will have more land to mow because the sidewalk will be gone. Makes a lot of sense, but that's where we're at. So we'll go forward with that. The website and software update, they are continuing their data migration and getting it ready to migrate, and the website is very close to going live. So they've been spending extra time. Keith, Pat, and Bob have been working, which has been tough. As I get in my next thing, mowing has been hard to keep up with, as Jeremy mentioned earlier. It will not quit raining. Do we live in Seattle or do we live in German Township? I don't know. But the rain has been a problem all season long for mowing. They can't keep up. And when they get one section done, it's just tough. And weed eating has been tough, and just trying to keep up with the whole thing while we've had more burials so far this year than we had the entire year last year. So on top of all the mowing and weed eating and data migration, they're doing everything they can to keep up. The cemetery does look good. They're doing a great job with what they have. So within the last month, Kurt Jacoby had set up a meeting with myself and Joe Schaller. They wanted to discuss the possibility of the township becoming a home rule township for the purpose of being able to more strictly enforce our zoning rules. The problem with that is we went over, I called the OTA once they had let me know what they wanted to talk about. typically home rule townships in Ohio, and I believe there's 31 of them, are much larger and have much larger budgets than we have. Requirements to be a home rule township include a full-time or a law director, which we do not have currently, that is currently free to us, provided by the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office. So you lose the free prosecutor's office and you have to have an on-staff law director. You also have to have an on-staff township administrator, which we do not have and would cost a lot. I just gave him a rough guess and not knowing any idea what lawyer fees could run a month, that it would cost the township approximately no less than $10,000 a month. While you could more strictly enforce your zoning laws, I do believe it would be cost prohibitive to go forward with that. They had talked about reaching out to the OTA for possible legislation changes to not require the township administrator, potentially that you get to keep your law advice through the county. So that's pretty much where we left that.
Could we not make that 10,000 a month up in fines for people not cutting their grass?
If that were the case, then I think we would have a revolving door at our zoning position, which we don't want. So it would, yeah, that probably would not be a great idea.
Well, the problem I see is if they change the legislation to allow home rule townships to keep their county prosecutor,
Yeah,
then not Miami Township, what's the other big one over there?
Washington.
Washington could not do away with their law director and start using the county engineers
Yeah,
as their law.
yeah.
That, they're gonna
It's-
open themselves up to a whole bunch of problems, which I don't think they're gonna wanna do.
I don't think it's definitely not worth the costs. And the minimum requirements, we barely meet every minimum requirement, barely meet it. There's the budget has to be over 3.5 million. You have to have more than 2,500 residents in the unincorporated. So we're pushing the limit on everything. So to take on the responsibility of a law director with whatever I mean, you can't predict what's going to happen or which neighbors are going to fight and sue us next or whatever is going to happen. So
There was an additional requirement you mentioned to me, and that is the township residents would have to approve it.
yeah, so because we're on the small side, they would have to get 10% of the voters to sign the petition to get it on the ballot. And then it would have to be voted on and approved by the residents. Yes.
What was the need for this? What was the stated need?
What they had talked about was we're having trouble enforcing like with SRM, the gravel pit. So this would give you more teeth to be able to deal with something like that. But then it also opens up the door for other problems throughout the township. So neighbors could be.
Taking pictures of each
But all civic fines versus, or
Right.
civic,
Civil fines versus,
versus criminal.
Yeah.
You don't, I don't even know what they're talking about, because you wouldn't have to become a limited rural township to do that. The goal is, as has been the last 10 years, is to get the zoning resolution enforceable.
yeah.
So it really, to go with what they're talking about is really nonsensical.
Well, it would cost us
Well, yeah, for that reason.
$150,000 a year.
If you got something something that you can enforce, which right now we send them a letter. We
Right.
send them 2 letters, and that's it. We don't have any, and that's what supposedly Shauna was going to talk to Anu about, trying to get some sort of procedure, because it seems like everybody has a different procedure.
Yeah.
But with no real teeth to enforce the zoning resolution, that has been the problem for years. Most people, if you send them a letter, they will actually correct that for the most part. But you get some that are just going to ignore it.
And there's,
Because you know that they know that they're not going to have any penalties.
and there's limited things we can do with like the nuisance abatements. We can do like a
Right.
nuisance abatement if somebody's grass is
Right,
this
exactly,
tall.
but that's all through the trustees
Yeah.
versus through zoning.
Right.
That's already in that ORC, so. So it's a problem that is not gonna solve.
I think that would create more problems.
Yeah, exactly, so, yeah, we've
So,
been trying to figure out something, but coming up with it.
yeah, I do not think that would be, I don't think that would be a wise decision
No.
to go down that route. All right, lastly, I met with Kurt Jacoby and, what's his name?
Sounds like.
Cody Risotto of Hometown Strategies. Kurt had set this meeting up. He's a levy consultant. So I gave you guys a copy of this tonight. Basically, he wants to help out with the levy next time we run one. But it also came to the price of $2,000 per month for
Service.
15 months. So, I don't think we have $30,000 that we could spend on a levy consultant or a levy we run in the future. I don't know what you guys' opinion is,
No, I agree that there's.
I agree.
so I will,
First of all, we couldn't use our money.
that
It
also
can only
brings
be
it to the
taken
next.
by the levy.
Correct.
So it's not township money or city money to pay the consultant.
So as that has been stated, I will email him back and thank him for talking to us, but there's nothing to go forward with at this time. I guess if a levy committee or the Parks levy or whoever wanted to contract with them, they would be able to, but it is not townships. We can't do that. We can't contract with them. We can't spend public money on a levy. So that concludes my report. Any other comments tonight? Anybody? All right, at 8:02, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned at 8:02.
Nice.
Pretty quick.